One, two, three, four, five, six. Two, three. One, two, three. I think that's on. Perfect. So add that to the goal. Should I add those to all the presets we do in OBS? Like, so what I have is I have all scenes set up. So I have each quarter, you should have sponsors. Perfect. Perfect. Gotcha. Okay. Yep, yep. That's my audience. Nobody sits here, and then we have whoever I introduce us there. Yeah. I'll go right ahead, oh, please. I can actually pull this out. Yeah. I got it. Good, because I look about 50 pounds heavier when that camera's on this side. No, he just finally moved the camera to the. No, I was just grateful you lowered your stool when we do our coaches interview. It was the very first one. You're up here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm weird. Yeah. Stephen, come. This is your OBS, right? Yes.
This is not going out, right?
I just leave it. I just.
Go ahead.
Hey, but that's fine. Yeah,
Okay. Hey, test. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
I'm great.
It's going to be a great morning. This is a day for Dragon football.
Yeah. I have this up just because that's where all my questions are.
Dragon fans are starting to wake up. Round Rock, Texas is coming to life. It's funny. Hear yourself in your own head. Ears.
So what's your call for tonight?
Oh, Round Rock is going to take it to the streets.
To the woodshed.
The woodshed. There you go. We'll take them to the woodshed.
What's your call on score?
28 to. I think the defense is going to blank them. 28-0.
Shut up. What do you think, Chad?
What are you looking for? Listener? Like that? Just continuing talking to him? All right, Bob. What is your thoughts about the game tonight?
They got a good running back.
They do.
He runs low to the ground, good balance, great after first contact. I think they're going to score, but I think our offense is going to light it up. So I don't know. I like 48. I was thinking 49. I'm going to say 49-21.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So what do we got here? Where's Coach Gumby? How many people do we need for the golf tournament tomorrow?
We're sold out.
Sold out.
Can't come. You can come and
Well, you
wave
come
at
and
people.
watch.
Yeah.
The,
Come to the banquet. There you go. We got.
Mike Barnes.
Yep. It's going to be a great event.
He was KView, right? The sports guy at KView, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that better? I thought these were out, but again, yeah. So he's on 3.
1, 2, 3.
This is our next purchase, by the way. It's going to be a new soundboard.
All right. Good investment. Okay, I'll keep talking. So, any updates from around the district? Have you heard about any games last night that were played?
I didn't hear of any games yet. I have to do my research this afternoon.
Okay.
At some point, I have to do my day job. I hope nobody from my day job's listening, but that's my long lunch. Yeah, so that one should be on me.
It
That
does
one
feel a
should
little
be-
loud in my ears.
Oh, in your ears right here. That's how you control your ears.
Okay.
And then this
Oh,
is
much better.
yeah. So that's you right there. And then this right here should be the volume control, but again, I kind of make it up as I go. Vandergrift one. And then they play Hutto coming up, I think, in 2 weeks.
Yep.
There's a lot of interesting, weeks
Dynamics.
9, 10. There's a
Yeah.
lot of interesting. And then week 10, the last week of the season, isn't it Hutto McNeil? I believe it's Hutto
Yeah.
McNeil. That's
Yeah,
going to
you're
be
right.
an interesting combo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big Bill Parcells guy. Not that I was a Cowboy fan, but I liked his philosophy, right? And he used to say, yeah, you got to get into the dance.
Yeah.
You got to make it to the playoffs.
You're correct.
And we got a good situation. We control. We're in the driver's seat.
We control our destiny. How we play out
Absolutely.
is definitely going to determine where we end up. We good? All right. We're going to get Coach on up here.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach.
Very nice. All righty, we ready? Game time broadcasting here with Dragon Football and the great coach Stan Gable, who I understand you also used to coach some football.
I did that for 44 years.
44
and,
years.
It was one of those things that my wife and I talked about it, and all of our kids were out of the house, and she says, watching Netflix and hanging out with the dogs can only go so far. So, kind of thought about it, made the decision, and decided to get out of football. And the opportunity to coach cross country came along, as well as I coach track. So, it's been a good transition. It's kind of like retiring,
But not.
but not at all.
So and we're going to dive into that a lot. But tell me about you. Where did you grow up? Where are you from? Where did you meet your wife?
I'm originally from Oklahoma. My dad coached. He was my coach, so he coached 40 years plus. Moved to Texas in 2000. Went down from Oklahoma City area down to Gregory, Portland. And then the head coach that hired me, he took the Taylor job. So we moved to Taylor. I coached there 7 years. And then looking like 18 years ago, came to Round Rock. Met my wife. Kind of interesting story there. I kept getting these notes on my desk about, you need to call this girl here. She's very interested, blah, blah, blah. I thought, nah, somebody's playing a prank on me. Come to find out, my student teacher, it was his sister that I had in class. I said, she's really interested. Have her show up at our first game. So I'm walking up the steps, and all of a sudden there was a girl that I'm teaching, and she's pointing like this, and I looked, and I thought, okay, yeah. So it was love at first sight, and that's been 30 plus years ago, and so far everything's good.
Nice. And you mentioned kids.
I have 4 children. Have a daughter, Brooke. She works for HEB down in Dripping Springs. She's a manager. My son Thomas, he's taught with us and coached with us. He's just teaching drone aviation now. My middle son Jack, he works for North Austin Porsche, so he sells the big money cars. And then my youngest, Sonny, he just graduated from the EMT Paramedic Academy over at Blinn and A&M, and he's working for Colorado County
Nice.
So
An absolutely random fact. I actually have a pilot's license to fly commercial drones
oh really?
and a commercial drone company, but I have no time between broadcasting and my day job. I pretty much do nothing with it. It
Yeah.
sits on my shelf now. What was your first car?
My first car was a 1962 Chevrolet pickup. I
You
took
wish.
it, and it was one of those fixer-uppers, and it's one of those things that I spent more time working on it than driving it. But it was my first one.
Nice. So tell us about track and field. When is the season? What's that look like?
Track, we typically start our workouts the Tuesday after Luther King. Um, we are able to run in 8 meets throughout the season, which we have the district meet, an area meet, then on to regionals, and then to state. So there's the qualifying process. Um, Typically, I've had as many as 172 boys run. It usually is around 150-ish. We do have tryouts for it. Right now, the cross country kids, and then I have about 20 track kids in the athletic period. So we got about 70 that are there. But it's herding cats, but we try and get them, all running. At least 4 or 5 meets a year. We host some here, but it's a challenge.
So let's talk about the track meets at Round Rock High School. How long have you been coaching track and field?
I've coached it every year. I've been, you know,
So over 18
oh yeah,
at Round
yeah.
Rock.
It's been 40. This is my 45th year teaching and coaching.
Okay, so at Round Rock High School, how many complaints do you get for broken windshields due to baseball season?
Uh, yes.
um, how has your coaching philosophy and the approach to these kids changed in 44 years?
Um, I kind of coach them like I raise my kids. I give them the tough love, and it's one of those things that's not real popular. But I know, and I've seen through the years that when kids come back and they're grown men or grown women, and they thank me and appreciate it. I know it's right, but it has changed, and it's one of those things. If you let certain things happen because you don't want to take it on or mess with it, it's going to have a snowball effect, and it's going to affect the whole group. Not only that person, but everybody else around them. So I was known as the Turk. I was one that handled all the discipline and all that within the football program, and it carries over into the track and cross country program. If you don't work out, you don't compete, and everybody has a great reason why they had to miss. But if you don't make those workouts up, you don't get to compete.
What is the best excuse you ever heard over the years?
Oh Lord. Of course, there's always traffic around here, but um, I guess some of them supposedly had a wreck, and they just parked in the ditch and pretended like they had a wreck. So uh, it was one of those that just it didn't fly, and they didn't get to run.
How do you coach? You look at these kids, some come in and they're giants as freshmen. And you're an anatomy teacher, so you know this better than I do, right? You have others that kind of grow a little bit later. How do you stick and encourage like an incoming freshman, sophomore that you see like, hey, you just haven't hit your growth spurt. By the time you're a senior,
They seeing all the different ends of the spectrum. It's one of those things. When we started doing what we call with track and field TNT meets, Thursday Night Thunder. When I first came to Round Rock, there were maybe 40 kids that ran track, and so we started doing these little meets, and we grew up to what we have now. That gives them the opportunity to develop, and if they stick with it and they work hard, once the testosterone kind of kicks in, a little bit of maturity, um, it's it's amazing to see what they do. One instance was a young man that came in as a freshman. He was tall and skinny and gangly, and he tried to be a hurdler, and he was doing okay, for a freshman. Sophomore year got a little bit better, and then he his junior year he qualified, to make the varsity team, and he was our best hurdler. And to make a long story short, at district his senior year, he beat the #1 hurdler in the nation, who was a kid from Pflugerville. The next day, University of Texas walked out on the track and said, where's this kid been? I said, where have you guys been? It's one of those things that he's been running pretty good times all year long. So he goes and runs for UT, but he was one of those. He's that story where if they will stick with it, I'm gonna stick with them. You work hard, good things are gonna happen. Now, not everybody's going to UT to run, but you're gonna be better than you were when you first started. And that, as a coach, it's my job to make them uh, better than they think they can be.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. What about this year's team? What is it looking like? How's it shaping out to be? What are you
Right
excited
now, I'm in
about?
the middle of cross country, and we go to regionals. We were second at district behind Vandergrift. It was real close. We're going to go down there, and we're going to see if we can't outrun those guys down at the regional meet. Hopefully, we'll qualify as a team to go to the state meet. Our goal the whole year for that is to be on the podium at the state meet. In track, right now it's kind of who knows. We got graduated a pretty good group last year and a real good group 2 years ago. But there's some key components, in the sprints. Distance is going to be good. Our jumps and our throws ought to be good. And that's one thing as a coach. I kind of figured out if you can get those kids come out and do the field events, that's going to make you better as a team. And I believe in the old Clyde Hart philosophy, and not a lot of people do. There's a lot of criticism about it, but one year I got away from it. We weren't very good, and so that made my mind up, and it's worked out pretty well every year. But we should have a pretty good group. There's some missing pieces, but that's my job to figure it out.
Yeah. Um, I've got like three different ideas of where to go with the next question. Let's see. What is, so I've coached, but more the youth sports. Decades ago, I coached at the high school.
Uh-huh.
So for me, what I found is, the kids that are playing college ball at 20 right now that I coached was a very different, I could be a lot harder on them.
Right.
I've got a 13-year-old that when I was coaching him, I gave that team up a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized between the parents, the demand, the expectation, the kids, everyone's got social media now, everyone's hyping themselves. How do you, and I love it because I talk about Bill Parcells all the time,
Right.
Belichick, Saban. How do you keep that old school coaching mentality in this new era with helicopter parents and social media?
I think one thing is, I make a lot of people mad, and I'm not going to compromise what I feel like is right. Um, and it's one of those things that sometimes they don't get their way, and I've had kids that, like I said, just didn't show up, or they had to take a family trip, and okay, so you're going to be suspended from. And I think it's not holding that against them, but it's making them understand that, what, I'm the guy that I'm rooting for all the guys and girls that did what's right. And it's tough, but everybody kind of knows. I think you establish those principles and you stick with them. There's going to be a little variance every once in a while, but not very much at all.
Nice. Now, talk about college recruiting over the 44 years. How have you seen this landscape change to what it is today?
Right now, I think it's a mess. But used to the college coaches would come into the schools and see the kids and all this, and then it's done electronically. Now all the recruiting services, they're trying to make their money, so they reach those feelers out, and the kids and the parents believe, oh, I'm getting recruited, and that's not necessarily true. They're just taking your money. But I tell them, if you're good enough, they're going to find you. And this day and time, with all the transfer portal and all this, it has made it much harder on every high school kid to be able to be recruited, because they're going to go get those older, more experienced. So you got to be good, and that's anyway for the big schools. The smaller schools, I've seen more reaching out from them. Tell me about this kid, or do you have some kids that might can compete for us? It's just a matter of whether those kids want to go to a smaller school. But everybody thinks they want to go to UT or A&M, and that doesn't happen very often at all.
Yep. Setting realities. All right, let's have a little bit of fun here.
Okay.
All righty. If your athletes could nickname you, what would it be and why?
Oh, think I could say that. But let me just say the word hard, and there's probably something else that could go after it. And it's because it's my demeanor. Yes, I try and have fun with them. You know, I'm gonna dance with them and hang out with them and all that whenever I can. But I think it's one of those situations where they know they know my personality, they know my expectations, and it's something that I've talked about this summer to the cross country kids. We're about competition, not participation.
I like it. What's the funniest or most embarrassing thing that's ever happened at a meet that you were coaching at?
Uh, this is actually a story from my dad. So he was at a meet, and he had a pretty good team, and they were running and stuff, and he wrote that to write the split and all this, and all of a sudden people started saying, "Look at that! Look at that! Look at that idiot!" And the kid had taken the baton and put it in his mouth and was running with it in his mouth, and my dad goes, "What in the world were you thinking, Coach? I could breathe much better with that thing in my mouth." So there we go.
Do you have a secret superstition? A song you listen to, way you get dressed for
Um,
state meets?
I know when I coached football, we'd won a game and we weren't supposed to win, and all of us kind of had this like, "Oh yes." So I wore the same pair of underwear every game after that. Now they were clean, but they had a little dot there on the waistband, and I knew exactly the ones I was going to wear that Friday night.
What's your go-to motivational phrase?
Uh, it's let's see. Really, it's kind of like I said before. If you don't believe in yourself, who else is?
Favorite hype song?
Good question. I'm a grew up with a lot of '80s music, so any of that stuff, a little AC/DC probably.
Nice.
Turn it on, let's go.
What's the last song you listened to?
Actually, it was some AC/DC yesterday in the weight room, so it
Nice.
was. We were finishing up our weight workout with the cross kids, and we had speakers going pretty good.
If you want to have a good laugh, pull up Jim Brewer on YouTube doing the ACDC with Hokey Pokey. He says you can just shout into a mic and you can make any song an ACDC song. It's great. It's awesome. All right, two truths and a lie.
Okay.
I didn't give you that, so give us two truths and a lie. Let's see if we can figure them out.
Um, I'm Native American.
Two more.
Okay, two truths and a lie. I know it's hard.
And normally I'll talk here to give them time to think because I didn't get a chance to talk him and tell him that, hey, I'm going to ask this. Like poor Dove, if he listened to the past ones, there's a couple of match questions, but there's some very different ones. So they don't get any time to think. My wife thinks it's mean. She thinks I should send them out.
Um, Another one is I'm one of 6 children, and then the other one probably would be my favorite color is red.
What do we think? Number two was a Native American, one of 6 kids, or favorite color is red. I'm going to go red too. What do you guys think?
I'm one of 4.
One of 4. It's always those exact
Four
numbers.
sisters. 4 sisters.
Excellent. All right, and real quickly, we do an NFL pick'em. So thanks to Miss Oppel for keeping track of these. Right now, Principal Butler is winning by far at 13-2. And the last couple ones, everyone is at the same, like 9-5, 10-4, all in the same cluster. People keep picking the Cowboys. And I'm a Cowboy fan. Sorry, folks. All right, here we go. So obviously last night was a great game. Let me get to the right week here. It's week 7. Last night was an awesome game. All right, so here we go. Los Angeles Rams at Jacksonville.
I think I'll pick the home team.
So Jacksonville Jaguars. New Orleans Saints, Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
Miami at Cleveland.
Miami.
New England at Tennessee.
New England.
Vegas at the Raiders at the Chiefs.
Got to go with the Chiefs.
Eagles at Minnesota Vikings.
Mm. Mm. Well, I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
Home team. All right.
Too.
Let's see. Carolina at New York Jets. Do the Jets get their first win of the year?
I doubt it.
Carolina, you picked. Giants at Denver.
Go Denver.
Colts at Chargers.
I'm a Johnny Unitas fan, so I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Washington Commanders at Dallas Cowboys.
You would hope the Cowboys would come through, but I'm gonna go with Washington.
Green Bay at Arizona.
Got to go with the Pack.
Atlanta at San Francisco.
San Francisco.
We got a fun Monday night, 2 games. Tampa at Detroit. I think that might be game of the week right there.
Ooh, I got to go with Baker.
And then Houston at Seattle.
Seahawks.
There you go. And Super Bowl picks. Overwhelmingly, the picks have been Bills and Lions. Overwhelmingly, with the Bills winning it.
Don't count out Tampa Bay. And I don't know. Throw the Chiefs out there.
I hear you. Coach, thank you. It was
You bet.
great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Appreciate doing it. All righty. Here with Coach Tenney, offensive coordinator. So, Coach, how long have you been coaching?
This is my
Hold on, I'm going to just fix your mic. Put it up by your mouth. There you go. I got to be careful what I ask him, too, because he sits right on the other side of the glass at most games from me, so I might get choked out.
I've been coaching. I believe it's 25 years. But this is my 13th year at Round Rock.
Nice.
And, 13 great years here at Round Rock. I'm very blessed to be here. It's a great place.
Awesome. So tell me, where did you grow up? Tell me about your, family.
I talked about this at the Booster Club meeting. I've lived a charmed life. I've got two parents that have been married 56 years, and a little brother. They live in Tennessee. Grew up playing sports. Wasn't the best student. Sports helped keep me straight, keep me out of trouble. Had 3 knee surgeries in high school. Was never the football player I wanted to be. I hoped to be, and had a calling for coaching in college. Thought I wanted to go make $1 million, but did some internships at a desk job and figured out that wasn't for me. Did some volunteer coaching, flag football at the YMCA. Did some volunteer coaching at the local middle school, and was fortunate. I felt that it was a calling, coaching kids and teaching kids, and I've had a great career traveling around the state and coaching great kids and being part of some great programs.
So what sports did you play? You mentioned football.
I did football, basketball, and baseball, and I always tell this story because we have so many multi-sport athletes that I wasn't good enough to play multiple sports at a 5. Back then it was 5A. It would be a 6A Division I school like Round Rock at Arlington High School, and I wasn't good enough. I got cut, and so I always preach to these kids that if you can play them all, because a lot of guys aren't good enough to do it. If you're good enough to do it, go be a dude and play everything.
What was your first car?
1979 Ford F100 pickup, baby blue, 302 small block.
Do you wish you still had it?
Absolutely. I wish I still had it. I had the glass packs on it. It was sweet. It was sweet.
So you're in college. You realize now corporate America isn't for me, which is smart as a guy who sits in corporate America all day. What was it or who was it that made you say, like, emulate yourself as a coach that you wanted to kind of?
I had 2 coaches, one in middle school, one in high school. Coach Warren, and Coach Austin. They were both offensive line coaches, and as a young, insecure, overweight kid, they pushed me, they pressed me, they believed in me, and they were hard but consistent, and they got me to do things that I didn't think I could do, and helped build my confidence as an athlete, more importantly as a young man. And other than my father, those two men had more influence on my life than anybody else. And I obviously wanted to emulate that and try to make an impact like those men made on my life.
Nice. And your father and mom, they listen regular.
Oh yeah, they're big listeners, big fans of Bob and your production. I'm gonna tell you thank you for you and Hank and your crew, because I got family in Tennessee. My brother and his kids. I gotta say their names. My mind's gone blank. I guess I'm a little nervous. Olive, Georgia, and Hudson. They listen every week. And my parents, they live in Franklin, Tennessee. They're coming back this week. Heck, they were in Canada this week watching it. So
Love it.
they're big fans of you. We appreciate you and your time and your passion and what you do for Dragon football.
I appreciate that a lot, but now it makes me laugh. You're a offensive coordinator for a 6A school with almost 38,000 people, and talking to me, you're getting nervous. That's awesome. I love it.
It's just I think it's healthy to do things that are your comfort zone, and it's a good thing.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about coaching, because I mean I've been around here since '98. I watched even in this offense this year, but I've watched you evolve. How have you seen the offense? By the way, I called offense almost 30 years ago, 28 years ago, and it was so plain Jane vanilla compared to what I see today. Like I'm not smart enough to coach at this level of what I see today.
Well, I always say that football is a simple game made complicated by simple men. It's really not that complicated. Now, it's evolved. It's just like anything. It's constantly evolving. And as a coaching staff, we've invested a lot as far as going out and seeing the trends and seeing what fits our program. And that's why you've seen a shift every year because it's either adapt or die. We're not going to do the same thing every year regardless, or not the exact same thing. We're going to keep some of the core concepts, but we're going to adapt to our kids and what our kids do well. And we've got some really good kids this year offensively.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Let's talk about this year. What would you say the offensive identity is? And I'm going to let you warm up and think about that for a second, because we come out against Manor, and it blew my mind. 8 seconds left in the first quarter before we run the ball. We come out the next week, we pound the rock, and it's keeping people like I remember in Vista Ridge, one of the coaches came out in the booth, looked at me and said, "Well, hell with our game plan," because they were waiting for us to run the ball, and we came out slinging it.
Well, I think it's about doing a lot of due diligence prep work as far as what the defense we anticipate they're going to do. And I've told the kids that it's a really a compliment to the kids that we're seeing so many different types of defenses trying to get stops. And so as a play caller, you've got to make sure that, okay, they do this, we're going to do this. And so just because, Vista Ridge, we know who they are. Their primary job is to stop the run. We figured that's who they would be. So that's that was the plan of attack. With Manor, with Hutto, we had a pretty good idea about what it would look like. And so if we get that look, that's what we're going to do. And that's what we did. And so basically we're going to take what the defense gives us and adjust and just play the chess game throughout the game.
How, as a coach, do two tough losses that we're on the verge of winning either way? How do you not take that home with you? How do you not take that through your weekend, into your marriage, into your life, into your?
It's hard. That's a hard thing. And as a young coach, it was really hard. It would sit with you and sit with you. It's hard. I mean, we've lost 3 games in the last 2 minutes, 1 minute, whatever it is. And bottom line is, when I go home, I've got to see the big picture. I've got 2 loving kids and a loving wife, and my daughter's almost always up there when I get home, and she makes me realize that there's bigger things in football. And the other part of it is did I do the best job that I could to give the kids a position, a chance to win? And if we feel like we did that, then I can sleep at night. If there's something that we didn't do, then by God, we're going to get it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's tough. I mean, these losses dwell on you for years. I mean, seriously, much more than the wins. Losses are tough to take. But bottom line is, like we tell the kids, you got to show up. You got to show up, back to work, go back to work, and come up with a great plan. And I think that's what we've done this week.
And let's talk about the offensive room because one of the things that impresses me a lot, right? Whether let's say quarterback, whether it's Dove or Jack, it's always if it's Dove, it's Jack the first one out to celebrate him. If it's the other way around, I see it. You look at the stats, right? You got two between Dylan Yeager, two great young men, Daniel Barry, their stats are almost identical. One will have a monster game this week, one will have a monster game next week, but yet they seem to always be celebrating each other. How do you keep that team together? You know what I mean? Like that selfless, if you would, the team first attitude.
Well, I think Coach Moore's done a great job instilling that servant leadership. In other words, it's not always about me getting touches because we got some really good football players that sometimes only have 2 or 3 touches a game, and constantly preaching selflessness. You know, how much you love your teammates is what you do when the ball's not in your hands. And you watch our receiving corps specifically; they are brutally physical. I mean, it is fun to watch. I mean, when the ball's not in their hands, they are mashing people. We've had multiple receivers have 2 or 3 pancake games, which I've never been a part of in 25 years. It's awesome. In other words, these guys really care about each other. They love each other, and they celebrate each other. And you can't ask for anything more than that from a coach, from these kids. They are some great kids that love each other.
I'm going to ask a question I asked last session, right? How do you develop players, right? You got kids that come through the program, and how do you maybe they didn't grow yet, maybe they haven't hit that growth spurt. How do you keep them encouraged, focused? Because like Hank Oppel's a great one that we talk about, right? Carter Shields is another great one, right? Carter Shields has been very open. He was a B team player, B team player, B team player, put a lot of work in, and now has got a lot of starting right guard. How do you encourage these freshmen, sophomore, that maybe they're on the freshman white team, and hey, could be JV. You know what I mean? How do you keep that focus and encouragement as they're growing and developing?
Well, I think the number one thing is investment. And we have a lot of football coaches, and we do things that develop skills throughout the year that's just not during football season. Like before and Breakfast Club, we're constantly developing skills throughout the year. You know, my grandpa used to tell me he'd go out and water the grass, and he would just focus. He'd just keep watering the dirt. And I said, Grandpa, why are you watering that dirt? He says, son, you got to drip that water down into the soil for it to grow. And I think that's how you develop kids. It's got to be you drip that water, you dive down into all the kids, no matter if they're A team, C team, whatever. Because bottom line is, you never know where they're going to be. We've had kids that were JV white team starters as sophomores or JV maroon starters as juniors and be all district football players. And so you constantly got to preach just invest, 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 and you never know when your time's going to come because good things are coming. And you guys got to invest, keep investing in the program, and we've got to invest in the kids. And I think we do a great job of that, Coach Moore and our staff, as far as diving into all kids, just not the dudes. We coach them all. So I think you've got to spend time and develop that skill set throughout the off season and just keep pressing and coach them all.
So, and I'm going to give you some kudos on this because I know that as a coach, when I coach, there's always parents in the stands that can do it better, know better,
Oh, yeah.
do everything. One of the things I think I see that you've done amazing is I have called all 3 freshman teams, all 2 JV teams, and obviously the varsity. The one constant I see is in the quarterback play, the maturity, the level of play. I've watched the third freshman team have a quarterback with a defender on his back, and he still has his eyes down the field, looking to make a play, keeping the play alive, where a lot of quarterbacks in high school tuck the ball and run instantly. How have you taught that? Because there's a consistency that you see at every level of quarterback play here. That it's not if you have 1 or 2 kids, sure, it's you got a great kid, but when you see it in every single quarterback in the program, how has that been?
I think that goes, goes back to investing at the middle schools and trying to ID those kids as quick as possible. And Coach Moore and Coach Reisner and before that Coach Carr spent time going down to the middle schools to ID those kids and to invest in those kids and start teaching some simple concepts to them. Like if you go to Walsh Middle School, they're running our offense exactly how we run it, and that just helps that skill set when they get here. But I also brag on the quarterback room. Jack Oppel and Dove Stickler and Parker Duarte, they lead by example. They are always grabbing those younger guys. Charlie, Preston, Branham, they're always present. They want to be in that room, and part of that is because Jack Oppel and the Dove Sticklers are humble enough to help those kids and coach those kids. And that's what it'd be a great program. That's what you need is the older kids coaching the younger kids and helping believe in them. And I think that's a huge part of why you see those younger quarterbacks having success because those older kids they buy in, they dive in and invest in those kids. And I can't brag on those older guys enough as far as doing that. And that goes all the way back to Breakfast Club. I mean, leading Breakfast Club and all those kids being there and throwing 100 balls Monday through Thursday. That's a huge deal as far as skill development. But that's player led, Bob. That's player led. The quarterbacks are doing that. We're not doing that. So that's a huge part of that. And obviously we got some good players. I mean, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
but they've invested. They put in the time and excited about our quarterbacks and our quarterback room for the future.
Yeah, but it also comes from the coach and the culture that you were all building. Because I'll give you another shout out. Right, I'm doing a third game. It was a JV Maroon game, the third game of the night on a Thursday night. You, I believe, were over at McNeil. It was the McNeil week, and you came back for the second half of the game. And we actually, Hank and I were talking about this because you were over at one game or two games and then still came out to watch the end of the last game when you've probably been up since 5 in the morning. You very easily could have gone home. So let me ask you this. Let's talk about some of the younger coaches, right? Because you do have some younger coaches. Are there any that you mentor that you kind of, you see where you were many years ago that you kind of pour yourself back into them?
Well, we've got some good young coaches. Coach O'Keefe, who played here, he brings a different juice. I'm excited about Coach O'Keefe, and obviously I'm partial to him because he was an all-state player here and a really good football player. He's doing a great job. Coach Newkirk, he's our other receivers coach. He is he's doing a fantastic job. He is uncommon attention to detail for 26 years old, and he's done an incredible job coaching those receivers, and he is a grinder. I ask him for things, and coach, here it is, and he's had a lot of input for a first-year, 26-year-old coach, and he's done a fantastic job. Coach Tennyson, he's our other new coach. He's our offensive line coach, and he's coming from the private sector, and he's really just diving in, trying to get his feet wet, and just trying to get and just learn everything. And he's done a great job developing relationships. But as far as mentoring them, I believe in leading by example. I mean, just don't tell me, show me. I believe in hard work above everything else, and hopefully I can model that to start with. But really excited about those three new coaches.
Excellent. And single most important piece of advice to give the young coaches or student athletes thinking about going into coaching?
Don't take it personally. It's real easy to get your feelings hurt, and when you lose, and when parents get on to you, and everybody's upset, don't take it personally. If you've done your best, let it slide off and go back to work.
Awesome.
In other words, like you talked about, don't take it home.
Yeah.
Don't take it home. Don't take it out on your kids or your wife, or your dog, whoever. Don't take it home.
All right, 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, boy. I saw you asking Stan these questions. I wasn't excited at all. Let's go. I've been married twice. I lived in Montana. I can speak Spanish. Yo hablo español, señor. I've only been married once. That is a lie, Miss Barnett. Thank you. Very good.
Awesome. All righty, an NFL pick'em, speed dating style.
Oh gosh, I need my son to do this. The only team that ever asked me about fantasy football. My fantasy football team's the Round Rock Dragons. That's the only thing I care about. But anyway, I'll do my best. Here we go.
All right, here we go. Well, we can't let the principal, for crying out loud, be the season winner.
I like to compete. Let's go.
All righty. Rams at Jacksonville.
Rams.
Saints at Bears.
Bears.
Miami at Cleveland.
Miami.
New England at Tennessee.
New England.
Vegas Raiders at Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Eagles at Vikings.
Vikings.
Carolina at Jets.
Jets.
Giants at Denver.
Giants.
Colts at Chargers.
Chargers.
Washington Commanders, I guess, at Dallas.
Go Cowboys.
Green Bay at Arizona.
Green Bay.
Atlanta at San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Tampa at Detroit.
Detroit.
Houston at Seattle.
Seattle.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
How are you? Good, how are you? Living the dream. All right, here with Dove Stickler. So, yeah, just put the mic up. There you go, perfect. All righty, so I have a little bit of a disadvantage or advantage. I know your mom and dad, and obviously I know Elliot, so I'm a little biased.
Right.
All right, in a good way, right? So let's go through some questions. Have fun, just relax.
Okay.
Right? I'm not going to make you look bad. I'm not going to say anything that's off kilter. All right. What does 86 mean to you?
86. Like,
The number 86. Does it mean anything to you?
no.
Would it surprise you if I told you that's your completion percentage this year? 86% of the passes you throw. So almost 9 out of every 10 passes you throw is a completion.
I think that's my expectation.
I love it. Good answer. All righty. When did you start playing football?
When I was 5 years old, Little League tackle football, no flag, straight into it. Shia was already playing, so went after him, joined his team. I was excited. Wanted to be like him.
Nice. Now, were you always a quarterback, or when did you move to quarterback?
No, I started as a defensive end, and I mean, it wasn't very good. I was always tall, but I was skinny, still chubby at the same time, and then moved to tight end, just trying to play in any way possible. I didn't really play quarterback until 7th grade.
7th grade. And then now let's talk. Who on the Dragons team today did you play with back in middle school?
Dylan Yeager, of course, Evan Anders, Jason Nolan. Those are the guys.
The keys. Yep. Nice. So you still have that connection with Jaeger today.
Yes.
Awesome. Let's see. What does it mean to you to put that Dragon jersey on?
To me, I mean, it means everything. The brotherhood is a big part of my life. Hard times, they're always there for me. It's part of my identity. I mean, I think about it every day about how I care about my brothers. I care about doing stuff for them more than myself. Every time I go out there, wearing the maroon and white is important to me.
Excellent. Do you remember being in middle school or elementary school, I should say, when the Dragons came into your school? Because you were in Round Rock back then too, right?
Right.
Do you remember those days? Or
I remember they came, they read to us.
Yep.
They felt so old then, like they were grown men. But no, I remember it vividly.
How does it feel now being a junior, going back into the school? Now you're the one that's going into the little kids that are looking up to.
Honestly, it feels really nostalgic. Like I haven't even been in my elementary school since I was a little kid.
Mhm.
It feels like I'm actually making a difference. I work at a summer camp over the summer,
Mhm.
and a lot of them go to the elementary schools we visited, and they all ran up to me, gave me a big hug. It was the best feeling in the world.
That's awesome. Who's had the biggest impact in your life?
I'd say my mom. She's always there for me. She, I can have deep talks with her, and she really like installs character into my life.
Awesome. Alrighty. Let's go a little bit with the team, okay? You're doing great, by the way. You're a natural at these interviews, man. I like it. Who's a teammate that has pushed you to be better this year?
Dylan Yeager for sure. So outside of football, we're best friends. We hang out every day. We work out together. We go to the field. We throw. When we're not at school, we're together. We're working out. So he's probably the only one on the team who challenges me, like with his voice, to be better.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that.
Very cool. One thing that really impresses me with you, it kind of stands out, is whether you were starting and whether you're the starter or Jack was the starter, you two have always been the first two to come out and celebrate each other.
Yeah.
Talk about the quarterback room a little bit.
I think over this year, Jack and I have really developed a relationship together that if he needs something, I'm there for him, and we appreciate each other's opinions. And just that time we've spent together has really like formed a relationship. So I think when I was his backup, it was really nice, like that he would still be willing to talk to me, chat about the plays, and obviously I want to reciprocate that back.
Excellent. What about the younger kids? Coach Tenney had kind of mentioned, right? Like Preston Branham's one that kind of jumps out, but I'm seeing a level of play that you don't normally see ninth and 10th graders playing at. Talk to me a little bit about how you encourage and work with some of the younger ones.
So Preston and of course Charlie, who's the JVA quarterback. I mean, Charlie and I spend a lot of time together. We talk about football all the time. He really feels like a younger brother to me. I want to be there for him because when I was a freshman, I was a sophomore. There wasn't really any upperclassmen there for me, so I want to be that for the freshmen. So I know for fall camp, when before we were practicing, I was out there every day. Um, in the wintertime for breakfast club, I was leading the freshmen. I was giving them advice as much as I could. Um, I just want to be there for them.
Awesome. Who on the defense hits the hardest?
I don't really get hit by the defense.
I have that question coming up later, by
Yeah.
the way.
I would say probably I know Cade Zamora hits hard. I've seen him rock some guys.
Nice. Who's the funniest teammate?
Probably Daniel Barry. He's a funny guy.
And who's the most gullible? Who's going to fall for everything?
Dylan Harper. Yeah. That's it.
Excellent. Take us through, what is your favorite play of the year?
So Cedar Ridge was the first game I really got an opportunity to play. My favorite moment was definitely that long touchdown pass to Barry. I mean, that's something I've dreamed about since I was a little kid, to go out there on a Friday night, throw a touchdown. I mean, that's all I've ever wanted. So it really felt like I was living the dream.
Nice. All right, unsung heroes, the offensive line,
Oh yeah.
right? How do you celebrate the unsung heroes on your team?
I mean, I love those guys. They're always there for me every Friday morning, besides this one. They're at my house. We eat breakfast on game days. I cook for them. I talk to them all the time. They're like great friends. We hang out outside of football. I just always want to let them know how appreciative I am for them.
Excellent. Favorite nickname?
For me?
Yeah, anybody. It could be any kid on the team, any pro player. What's a favorite nickname? Your favorite nickname? I mean, we learned Koopa Doop.
I mean, I call lots of guys meatheads, especially Barry, just because sometimes I don't think there's any thought behind those eyes.
All right, we're going to go family questions.
Okay.
This is like speed dating style. So it's like rapid fire,
Okay.
rapid answers. Again, I told you I know one of you. Who's the best athlete in the Stickler family?
Me.
If I asked your brothers, who would they say?
Me.
Since you get to wear a red jersey a lot at practice, does Shire ever take randomly, like tackle you at the house or give you a cheap shot, hip check into a wall?
No, but he really wants to. I can see it in his eyes.
If your family had a backyard football game, who's the coach, who's the ref, and who's getting ejected for arguing?
Elliot's probably the coach. The ref, probably my mom. She probably wouldn't want to play. And Shaya's definitely getting ejected for arguing.
Who's your mom's favorite?
Elliot.
If I ask Shia and Elliot, who are they going to say?
Elliot.
Who helps around the house with cleaning and other things?
Oh, me, because Shia is so lazy. He just sits in his room.
Who's the best cook?
Me.
Who's the funniest?
I mean, I don't know. Probably, I'd say Elliot.
Who has the best style, clothing, music, all around?
Me.
And who sings the best?
Elliot.
Excellent. I see. If you said no to Elliott, then I was going to call you out on that one. All right, let's go NFL pick'em, real fast,
Okay.
speed dating style. Rams at Jaguars.
Jaguars.
New Orleans at Chicago.
Chicago.
Miami at Cleveland.
Miami.
New England at Tennessee.
Go Pats.
Raiders at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Philadelphia at Minnesota.
Philadelphia.
Panthers at Jets.
Jets.
Giants at Denver.
Giants.
Colts at Chargers.
Colts.
Commanders at Cowboys.
Commanders.
Packers at Cardinals.
Packers.
Falcons at 49ers.
Falcons.
Buccaneers at Lions.
Lions.
And the Texans at the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. Good luck tonight, bud.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All righty. So with Coach Moore, I thought of doing something different because I interview him every week. And in the pregame, I do play that and then I put it live. So, I saw him on Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. And was it Saturday or Sunday? But you're on your way to practice. And we were just talking about all the prep work that goes into a week, right? There's a lot of people, a lot of unsung heroes that do a lot, from the booster club to you, to your coaching staff. So from a coaching perspective, Friday night ends. Take us through, what does the week look like coming up until this moment?
Friday night, a lot of times is kind of like trying to just wind down. That's the biggest thing. Like, there's just so much adrenaline and just thought and prep and all that kind of stuff. But just like trying to wind down after a game on Friday night, it's pretty tough to do. I kind of find myself, whether it's like something like a play or a drive or something is like kind of sticking with me, whether I need to go look at it or not, to have a thought before I even go into the like was it that bad or was it that good? Like, I got to make sure I have it good and put to bed before I go to bed, kind of thing, right? Most of the time I don't do that, but every now and again there is that thought. Saturday mornings usually takes, all the coaches up there around 7 or so, and we start grading the previous night's film. And so every coach is responsible for their position. And grading for us, I've done it many different ways. I've like, you literally get a letter grade or you get a percentage. But now we've got it to the point where it's more of like getting kids a grade sheet. And I mean, it's either a double positive, a negative, or a double negative. Like, and then you just kind of like add those all up, and if it's pretty good for the most part, then it's pretty good, right? But we're not. I hate putting numbered grades or letter grades on there because I don't like. I mean, you can. Every coach grades differently, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't like seeing that, because then some kids that had a great game, they graded a 70, but then some guys not so great graded a 95, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'd rather it be more like play by play, knowing what the kids, and like actually having notes, feedbacks, that kind of thing, right? Once the kids come in and do all their weights and everything, and we watch film and give them their grade sheets, and it's on to the next opponent. The Booster Club does a phenomenal job, and they provide lunch for us on those days. Huge shout out and thank you to Mary Barnett and Booster Club for that. I know our coaches are very appreciative of it. And then it's on to the next week. It's to start breaking down. And you and I talked about on Saturday that, like, that is a huge chunk of our time. And a lot of times people are like, why do you have to work Saturdays and Sundays? Do I want to do that? No, I don't. But I do know that we have to make sure we put our kids in the best situation to be successful on Friday nights, right? But all the stuff that we do on Saturdays and Sundays is all based upon data now these days. It used to be like, 8 squares or 10 squares, hit charts, and they ran a play to the right. Well, I'm going to make sure I tally that. But that used to be the old school way. I even told you a story about, we had these card stock with like 5 linemen drawn up, and you drew the whole formation, and you labeled it all, and you punched the hole in the corner, and that was like 11 personnel for this. And then what you do is you put all the cards together and get a huge stack, and you would run a rod through it, and you'd shake them loose, and those are all the 11 personnel runs, and so it's pretty wild how it's like gotten to now we have huddle,
Yep.
and now we have answers, and so answers is another. It's like huddle on steroids, because it's AI driven.
Yeah.
And
So
there's a lot-
basically, AI that will tell me like, okay, out of this formation,
Yeah.
you're going to pass the ball 75% of the time.
we used to get to the same, like the end game was still the same going through huddle, but you're having to go through filters and do all that stuff to get to that point. For answers is like it's like right there in front of you, right?
Yep.
Now there is like data entry and that kind of things that are all of our coaches are responsible for each thing. Like all the defensive coaches each have a responsibility that they have to have it done by 1 o'clock on Sunday or whatever, and then offensive same way, and then I take care of all the special teams. And then that's usually Saturday, and the thought is like, just guys, make sure you get all your data in on Saturday before you leave, and we need to make sure we have scouting report and all the stuff ready to go into Sunday, right? And then Sunday at 1, I'm a firm believer in our guys having some sort of spiritual life, so I want to make sure I give them an opportunity to go to church and have lunch with their families and stuff. So I say 1 o'clock usually. Most guys show up around 11. I'm kind of like a 11:30ish type of guy. And then we have a staff meeting. And the staff meeting is all about what jerseys are we wearing on Thursday, who's driving buses, who's in charge of monitoring, who's all like, do we have study hall on Wednesdays? Yes, we do. Like all the stuff that's unseen, all the logistics, the things that if you don't write them down and you don't keep track of them, it makes you look like a program that's not ran real well, right? Just don't want to put our kids in a situation where they're having to play catch up, right? So that usually happens at 1, and then after that, it's all about the opponent, how we're going to attack them, how we're going to defend them. We usually have all the data and all the sheets and everything all printed off, and then the coaches all get in the same room, and that's when brainstorming starts happening. And I kind of tend to lean more to the defensive side and spend more time in that room just because of it's like the nature of the beast, right? It's kind of where I've always been. But there is a lot of times I'll poke my head in the offensive room, a lot of times actually. And Coach Teddy says, "Hey, they're doing this. How can we attack it? Just like from a defensive mind, right? We kind of cross over a little bit, and I'll draw some stuff up, and I'll say this will put us in a bind. And he's like, "Well, we're going to do that." And so there's a lot of crossing over from defense to offense. But yeah, Saturdays and Sundays it's wild, and usually by the off week or the bye week or whatever, we're hungry to be able to hang out and to spend time with our families, right? But at the same time, we understand the kind of job and task at hand, and I don't do a very good job because I always crater into, hey, your kid needs to play select baseball. Are you good? You want to play? Yeah, sure. I guess we're doing that too. So, and then we're going to do football also. Oh, okay. So, we completely overcommit every fall. And my poor wife, thank God for her. She's running ragged, man, and as am I. But at the same time, we don't help ourselves by saying yes all the time. But I think we've learned our lesson. I think we have some different thought processes going into the next fall. So we'll see where we're at with that.
Yeah. I walked in last night after the football games, and Ian, my 13-year-old, said, "Hey, Dad, I got asked to pick up with a 14U. Can I go play with them this weekend?" And Melissa's like, "I want to have an off weekend." I said, "I'll take you, buddy. You got it." Little bit Friday night. Let's go back to Friday night because it was an interesting. And by the way, I just thought this was fascinating, right? So we just happened to be out at the baseball field, and you showed me you were breaking down game tape while watching a select game, and we got to talking about this. And I thought it was fascinating to share with everybody, like what goes in behind the scenes. You got home, you went right in and started watching tape after the huddle game.
Yeah.
Like you were watching some of the tape and breaking that down before you even went to bed. That was part of your wind down. And then when he showed me the iPad, the amount of time throughout the week that was just allocated, like every minute of like, okay, we got to be here, we got to do this.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's like my big responsibility, and that's something that Coach Cheatham taught me as I got here. Is we have a working document through Google Sheets that Everybody has access to put their own input in, but I am the one that puts all the logistics in for each day, starting from 6 o'clock staff meeting on Monday morning, and blah blah blah, everything that we got going on. Tuesday 6 o'clock staff meeting, blah, blah, everything going on, and I mean it's like, and I don't even if y'all have even seen the game day itineraries that I do for everybody. I don't even know if you've seen that before, but like it's like 6:05, this is where you're supposed to be at this time, and then 6:10, this is where you're supposed to be at this time. And the reason why I do that is because I want everybody to be on the same page. The thing that gets me the most irritated and where I get frustrated is where if you're supposed to be somewhere and you're not there. And like I'm gonna try to take all the thinking out of the way and just like no, like you know exactly where to be. And that's probably why parents are getting overwhelmed and flooded with Sports U posts. Because I told Christy I want to make sure our families know exactly what's going on. And you know, hopefully they're not overwhelmed by them, but hopefully at the same time. Well, you know what's funny is I did kind of have like a show of hands, like who are enjoying the Sports U post, and none of the dads just raise their hand.
All the
All the
moms.
moms were like,
Every
oh
mom.
yeah, I love it. This is great. And so, but you know, and I know how that is because my wife's the same way.
Yep.
Right. I'm like notifications off on my phone, right?
Yep.
And then Hillary's like, no, did you see the notification from so and so? No, I didn't see that. Sorry.
Yep.
But she's all about it, and but she's always keeping me on the straight and narrow too.
Well, we should probably have Hillary on this one day. I know she was awesome at the Booster Club
Yeah,
when she
does-
kind of
she does a really
presented
good job. Yeah.
like the wife and the support.
She kind of does this thing kind of professionally, and she's really, really good at it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty. So let's do a little speed dating
All
style.
right, sounds good.
We had a great, this is one of my favorite coaches interview this week too. So we'll put that up there. I don't put it up before the game. So nobody sees it in case you say something.
Yeah.
I go back to the old Jimmy Johnson Super Bowl, the very first Super Bowl. He was watching a Buffalo Bill, a news report from Buffalo news station, and they were basically at the complex, and you could see the play being run behind them, and it was a direct snap to Thurman Thomas, the running back, and he immediately calls his coaches and says, "Hey, had they ever done that before?" And they said, "No, we've never seen him do that." So when they did it in the Super Bowl, the Cowboys were waiting for it because he had seen it on a newscast that just picked up on it, and they blew it up for a loss. All right. Anyway, Rams at Jaguars.
Rams,
Saints at Chicago.
Chicago,
Miami at Cleveland.
Miami,
New England at Tennessee.
New England,
Raiders at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Eagles at Vikings.
Man, the Eagles laid an egg last week.
They did.
I'm gonna go ahead and go Vikings.
Panthers at Jets.
Panthers.
Giants at Denver.
I'll go Denver with that one.
Colts at Chargers.
Colts.
Commanders at Cowboys.
I'm losing faith, guys.
I have to.
I'm losing faith.
No, it's okay. Jerry said we're going to be fine.
Commanders.
Packers at Cardinals.
Let's go Packers.
Falcons at 49ers.
Man, I liked watching the Falcons last week. Let's go Falcons.
Buccaneers at Lions.
Bucks.
Texans at Washington.
And I
Seattle.
say that loosely because I love the Lions.
Yeah.
Like I like everything
Yeah.
that guy's doing. But I'm gonna go Bucks. And then what's the last one?
Houston at Seattle.
Seattle.
Excellent. All right. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So, hey, just a reminder, golf tournament tomorrow. All teams are full. We also have tailgate party, 4:30 to 6:30. Come early. It's going to be a little cooler. It's only 91 today. It won't be 98. So we'll see y'all later. Thanks.